Hi guys, I'm currently filming from the Xavier Institute by way of my local library. It is a lot more quiet here than it is currently at my house because my neighbors decided they wanted to cut their grass as I began my video. So I had to come someplace a little bit more quiet so that I can get this video out to you. I believe I left off at episode I want to say episode number 4, Motendo. Yeah, Motendo. I believe that's what we were talking about here. So Motendo is a Mojo and Nintendo fusion. And if anybody doesn't know anything about Mojo, Mojo is an alien being. He does not have a spine. He's like a big blob, like a gelatin thing, who uses an exoskeleton to support himself. But he feeds off of energy, and not just any energy, negative energy. And Mojo has the ability to corrupt anything that is around him. If you're young, he will aid you. If he's outside in nature, trees, plants, flowers will begin to wilt. He just corrupts everything that he is around, and he feeds off of energy. So we see that he sent this Motendo box to Jubilee on her 18th birthday because now Jubilee is grown. Jubilee is 18 years old. Jubilee is like, yes, I've been an X-Men for the past 4 or 5 years. Yes, I'm grown. I'm 18 now, and I'm ready to live my life. So we see here that Jubilee and Alberto, who was a mutant that was rescued in X-Men 97, episode 1, he is in Jubilee's room, and they are about to play this game. Now, Jubilee's furious with Magneto because he's talking about we need to put away childish things. It's time for us to grow up. We're the X-Men, so we're not going to do childish things. Jubilee's pissed. But she sees this game here, and she's like, well, let's play this, Alberto. And unbeknown to her, this gift was given to her by Mojo. And Mojo traps her and Alberto in the Mojoverse, in another reality, and they're there, and the graphics there are absolutely amazing. They harken back to the classic X-Men arcade, Pride of the X-Men, where we had the X-Men such as Dazzler, such as Colossus, such as Nightcrawler, Cyclops, Storm, and Wolverine fight Magneto. And baby, when I tell you that was a chef's kiss, a nod to the past, and it was executed very well. Even when they downplayed the graphics, and it looks like it's the video game, and we see the little fireworks and stuff like that going on when Jubilee shoots it. It's like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Some of the combos actually harken back to Marvel versus Capcom and that era. Like, I'm looking like, okay, y'all on to something here. Y'all definitely got our guys' attention right now, and they have my attention fully. So we see Jubilee actually playing this game because she's like, oh, this is a video game. I'm here for this. And Alberto's like, I don't want to reveal my powers. You know, my parents may see this, whatnot. He's going back and forth with that issue still. But Jubilee, she's here for it. So we see her fighting a computerized or a digital savage land, and she's being shot at when this character shows up who is actually in Allspikes. This person is just looking at them, and they're looking like, what's going on? We flash, we cut the Mojo. Mojo's like, oh my gosh, we got another glitch. We got another anomaly going on, or something's going on. So he calls the Spiral to fix it. But by this time, Jubilee and Alberto escape to the next level, which is a Magneto level. And this is classic video game Magneto. Prepare to die, for those of you who know. you know. So she's fighting Magneto, and she understands the process. Video games, they all have patterns. You know, some people make 3 punches and a kick. So she figures out Magneto's powers, and she's able to defeat him. And in the process, it glitches again. Mojo, he comes on the scene, and he's ready to kick ass. Like, he's like, yeah, I'm here for this. You guys got to go. And we see the initial glitch in her horns and her black outfit. She show up, and she reveals herself to be an older Jubilee, that she is actually what was created by Mojo for this specific game to see how they can play the game, to go through it. So he's created by her. But the wonderful thing about her is that she's voiced by the original actress. And I immediately was like, whoa, that's the first Jubilee. That's hi, I'm Jubilee. I blow shit up. Excuse me, I blow stuff up. So she's like, yeah, I'm Jubilee. So we have her there. They combine their powers and they kick Mojo's behind. They crush Mojo. They get out of here, Mojo. You're done. You're done. You're done. Get up out of here. So Mojo is now defeated. And that was the first half of episode number 4. And that was Jubilee. That was Motendo. The final half, this is where I had gotten ahead of myself before, but yeah, the final half was Storm and Forge, because we know that Storm has now lost her powers, and she was found at a Texas bar with Forge, Well, Forge approaches her at the Texas bar and he tells her, "Hey, I understand who you are. I can help you. I can help you get back your powers." And Storm, being heartbroken that she lost her powers, she's looking for anything. If this man says that he's a friend of Charles Xavier and he can help me, I will trust that. Even though I don't know this person, I will trust that. And then we enter the life death story. Life death. And life death, again, is one of those stories that could easily have taken place over a few episodes, and it probably will take place over a few episodes, but as of now, they only have like this 11-10 minute segment right now. Now we find that Storm has indeed gone back to the ranch with Forge, and he's trying to cure her. He's trying to heal her. He's not being forthcoming with how she got that way, but he does reveal it. So we see her having a good time. We see that mentally she's begun to heal. Like she was like, I can't fly, but I can fly in other places, you know. So they're going horseback riding, and he's trying to figure this process out. And during the process, or during the time of them riding horses, he figures out a way, like maybe if I try this, I can get Storm back her powers. And the scene cuts, they're back at the ranch, and Storm is trying to conjure the weather. And unfortunately, it is not heeding her command, and we see Storm just break down. And I'm going to say shout out to Allison Seeley Smith. Miss Smith, baby, if they have an award for voice acting, like an Academy Award, she deserves it, because what she does with Storm and the pain that she's able to emote and just transfer over, like you can hear it. Like it is heartbreaking. Like Miss Smith, like you're amazing. Like you truly are amazing. I hope you know that. Like you truly are amazing. As a matter of fact, every time I read a comic book and I pick Storm's dialogue and I read Storm's dialogue, hers is the voice that I hear. Like I hear her voice like constantly, and it's been that way for the better part of 30 years. Like her. Thank you, Miss Smith. That's all I can say. Just thank you. So yeah, we see Storm is back at the ranch. The process didn't work, but we are introduced to the adversary. So that episode's in with Storm being captured by the adversary. And once again, Miss Allison Seeley Smith voices the adversary, and what they do with the alterations of the voice and just her natural God-given gift. Like it sells that scene. It truly does sell that scene. The despair that Storm is sinking into like a vat of blood and despair, and she's not even trying to get away. And those of us that know Storm is a fighter. Storm has given up. Storm is like, if this is despair, then I'm just going to stay here and I'm just going to be in this moment because this is where I'm at. This is where I am at. And she is not trying to fight back. She is literally given up at this point. So baby, that episode ends. Now, this episode that I seen last night, remember it. And indeed, I will remember this episode. This episode started off kind of slow, but it picked up. And when I tell you it delivered, and this is a 10 out of 10, this is by far some of the best storytelling that I've seen in animation in ever. It is good. Like, I don't know how they came about telling these stories the way that they are telling them and doing them and executing them so well. Now, granted, they are pulling source material. Like, they are definitely pulling from the comic books, but they understand the assignment. They are clearly fans of the X-Men. They're just not someone just talking about, oh, yeah, we'll do our own interpretation of the X-Men, which they have their spin, but in essence, they keep the core characters there. So we see the X-Men traveling to Genosha because it is a mutant haven. It is a place for mutants to be free. It is a place where mutants can be themselves. And you see a society that is living their best life. Like, these people are finally happy. They are at a place where they belong. This is a mutant paradise. We are reintroduced to the Hellfire Club in this episode. We see Emma Frost. We see Sebastian Shaw. We see Madeline Pryor. She is there. And she's like, well, they needed the X-Men, so y'all had to spare Jean, so here I am. I'm Maddie, I'm here. So we have that going on right now. And in addition to that, we see that Banshee and Moira McTaggart is there. They're part of the council, and they're pulling Magneto to the side, and they're talking to Magneto, hey, we want you to be the king. We want you to be the face of Genosha. We need for you to do this so that this can work. And Magneto is a bit reserved at first, but he's Magneto. Magneto's like, yeah, I got this. I'm doing this. I'm Magneto. So Magneto, he decides that he wants to take the role as being king of Genosha, and he decides that he wants a queen. And if you've been watching this, and I purposely left this information out, but Magneto and Rogue, it is revealed that they actually had an affair before Rogue joined the X-Men. Gambit is suspicious of it. Gambit is a thief. He sneaks around. Gambit knows things. He picks up things that the average person probably wouldn't pick up. So Gambit is noticing the difference between them. But Magneto and Rogue are, it kind of alludes that they might be doing more, but this kind of clarifies it a little that it didn't go all the way there, but it possibly did go all the way there, if you know what I mean. But we see here that Magneto wants a queen, and he's choosing Rogue to be his queen. And so now Rogue has to tell Gambit what's going on and tell him she does. And it is heartbreaking. Again, these people who casting, much like Allison Seeley Smith, Lenora Zane, she's a beast too. I have to take my hat off to her too. Like, she is able to convey emotion that makes you like, like you feel it hits you in the gut. Like those two girls, like not girls, but those two women, like Allison Seeley Smith and Lenora Zan, like they couldn't have got better actors to actually play those roles. They just couldn't, because they're phenomenal. They truly are. They really are. And in this scene where Rogue's character is actually telling Gambit what happened, she begins to break down and she's telling Gambit, hey man, listen, you light up everything you touch, everything except me. Like, you can't touch me. Like, Magneto can, like, but you can't. And you see the heartbreak between them. And Gambit's like, look, tears sheds out of his eye. He's like, all right, I still love this girl, but we'll just be friends. I mean, I'm good with having you as just being a friend as opposed to being a enemy. So Gambit tries to take the mature road out of, he tries to bow out gracefully, so to speak. But he is upset. He's clearly upset. And baby, I'm trying to be quiet because, like I said, I am here at the Xavier Institute. I'm at the library by way of my local library. So if I'm whispering, please forgive me. Hopefully I can edit it in the back end. But baby, when I tell you that it goes down, because they go to the Mutant Massacre on Genosha where they release the huge, big Sentinels. And I mean, like, we get that. We get that in this episode. We see that. We see that all the mutants are being totally destroyed. They're being decimated. Like, this gigantic mega monster of a Sentinel is just destroying everything. And we see the X-Men take action. It is then identified that Magneto is an Omega level mutant, much like Storm was identified as an Omega level mutant in episode number 1 when she gave him the forecast. And they said Omega level threat. Magneto is an Omega level threat. Although, interesting enough, he was being held on to Leech at the time. And little divergence here. When Storm entered the scene, they immediately knew that she was Omega level mutant. They were like, Omega level mutant detected. Boom. Magneto is there fighting them, and he's not immediately identified as an Omega level mutant until Leech is holding on to him. So I'm wondering if somehow that Leech boosted his power, or from what I know about Leech, Leech only has the ability to dampen mutant powers. I don't know that he can enhance that, but, I might be out of the loop on what Leech can actually do. But it says Omega level threat. And Magneto is going and he's trying to whip them with the train. Like, he turns that into a whip. Like, he's trying to beat this thing into submission. And this thing is like, I'm not here for that. I don't care nothing about your magnetic powers. I am doom. I am your doom. So it unleashes this blast, and it just totally destroys Magneto. He tries to put up a fight, and he's holding it off for a while, but the Sentinel eventually says, mutant threat eliminated. So we know that Magneto is dead. Like, they didn't kill Magneto. Like, y'all killed Magneto. Like, what is this? Just get rid of the X-Men? Because at this point, y'all done got rid of Storm. Like, y'all done depowered her. Y'all done sent Bishop to the future with the baby. You got Jean and Cyclops over here having issues, and they are having issues. And we do find out that Cyclops is having a mental affair, much like he did with Emma with Madeline Pryor. And Jean is well aware of that. So they argued about that. But getting back to the fight on Genosha, Magneto is destroyed, and we see that Gambit and Rogue have this beautiful scene where this is ripped straight out of the comic books where, you know, they have a date night, they're on a motorcycle, and they go off to fight. So we see Rogue in a dress that she was going to wear, I guess, to accept the queenship of Genosha, but she does deny Magneto before that. I know, I'm like jumping around, so excuse me if I am jumping around. But, yeah, that is denied. Not denied, but we do see that we get that beautiful scene, and Gambit shines like no other in this. Gambit is being Gambit. Gambit is that man in this scene. I don't want to give away too much because I've given away a lot already, but it was heartbreaking at the end. Gambit showed up and showed out, and he was Gambit, and he is the true definition of an X-Man. Like, in spite of any self-doubt that he ever had, do I fit in? Do I belong here? He makes the ultimate sacrifice to save these mutants of on Genosha, and he destroys this huge creature, this huge monster, this big giant sentinel, Deathbot, and he destroys it. And then we get a cutaway of Rogue and Lenora Zane and her acting ability and how she is with Heartbroken, and she's telling Gambit that she can't touch him because Gambit is dead. When I tell you I had to wear black because I'm currently in mourning behind that scene, I am currently mourning. I don't know where else to go with it. Guys, I do thank you for tuning in for my little history lesson / my little review of X-Men 97. I do appreciate that. If you like this, guys, please come back and please subscribe to my channel. Please leave a like button, engage, leave a comment. Tell me if you like it, if you hate it, whatnot. Just let me know. What can I do to improve? But I appreciate you spending this time for me if you made it this far. Thank you.